energy vampires and psychic vampires. I always think of the psychic vampires as the beautiful self-centered people. They are the ones who set the emotional standards and ethics of the world by what is convenient to them and benefits them. I stated my opinion of psychic vampires upon one internet group, and the person instantly said in another group how cruel people were about vampires on that first list. They did good things too, as they did not drain their victims where they would die, and could actually remove depression and upset. Psychic vampires are also known as energy vampires. I had one person say they were born a psychic vampire and made a life choice not to do vampirism on others. They and about 4 other people who have said the same thing show that it is possible for vampires to act differently. Yet the set comments on the internet are that the vampire can do nothing about it. They form vampire houses and learn magic to be the superior ones, not their victims. They call themselves the wolves and everyone else is the sheep meant to be the victims and slaughtered. I read that on one of the vampire houses websites and felt horrified. They are a hazard of this world when joining any group of people. They are a particular danger of the spiritual world. Vampires are narcissists, and they do everything for themselves and the particular image they want to portray to the world. I cannot stress enough how important reading a book about narcissists is to anyone who is learning any spiritual discipline where a person is considered special or psychic. Narcissists are people who know they are special. They typecast people and spend a great deal of time and interest learning about the psychological makeup of their victims. They are those people that are good friends, and then all of a sudden you find yourself playing a role in their soap opera of life. It does not need to be a bad role, but the moment you deviate, they show vicious and instant actions to push you back into your role. They are manipulative and try to have a group of friends that they can use to control and force you back into your role. They use set phrases to remove all blame from themselves and then move on as if nothing ever happened. I grew up in the family with 3 narcissists of varying degrees. I have loved and cared for the narcissists in my life and observed how they have behaved. I started to study spiritual practices and realized that narcissists love magic and spirituality. It gives them a chance to feel special and evolved. They had such dramatic roles and things they could do. They also had such high energy and victims they could such try to look special. I had joined a group of people that had more narcissists than any other social group in the world. They could be self-proclaimed gurus, group leaders that had the lesser ranks wait upon them hand and foot, proclaiming how great and special they were to everyone. They could be tragic and the victims of a curse where nothing could cure it. They could judge others on how evolved they were and be sure they were special and more evolved than anyone else was. They are a definite hazard of the spiritual world, as not only are they sucking the life out of others, they are also being the leaders who are full of ego and get everyone hurt by their actions. They give everyone a bad name and cause countless health problems for their victims. My first experience with psychic vampires was during my childhood. They would blame others for things they did not do yet never remembered it. It was as if they could cloud people's minds and convince them to do what they wanted them to do. They would make obvious mistakes in front of witnesses, yet everyone would lie about it. The set phrases were always, "I do not do things like that," or "I am not a person that acts that way." They would believe it and move on in their lives happy they were perfect. They would state everything necessary to fit into their roles to show the self-image they wanted others to believe. Yet their actions always gave them away. Yet if they did not remember those actions or changed them by a set phrase, why would they feel badly? The rules always changed to suit them and make everyone else take the blame. They do not take responsibility unless it is part of their role now. They always have high drama in their lives and ignored others' suffering. I grew up promising myself that I would never do that to others. I had horrible health problems at home, and I instantly became healthy when I left home, except for the illnesses that had already taken root, so to speak. I had more energy, and actually had people tell me how smart and nice I was as a person. I was so used to being manipulated that I had never developed energetic boundaries or barriers. The first thing that happened was set to throw me into the lives of the next group of vampires I met. They were group leaders of a magical group. The set phrase they had was to do what I said, not what I do. I had years of problems, but it had been the only life I had known. The other students who did not cooperate with them were driven crazy, or tried to commit suicide. The final straw was when the group leader offered up the souls of his students for his mistakes. Yet the group leader always was such a nice person. He was not a person who did things like that. I can't go on with examples, but this should give you an idea of what I am talking about in spiritual life. I always look at any guru or teacher and see what type of aura they show. Psychic vampires always have the images of spiders or snake-like creatures within them. Psychic vampires can form an illusion or glamour that hides these symbols. Yet the students and people who follow the guru or teacher will also show you what they are about by their actions and interactions. Always take the time to check out everyone. A toxic group can be more than a problem, as it can cause so much more trauma than taking on others' choices where you are the person suffering. The psychic vampire is normally the leader of a group. The reason for this is that they are smart, manipulative, and love being the center of attention. The only time they are not the leader is when they are a person who can't play and manipulate everyone else. Yet we also have to deal with them in everyday life. I plan to show some ways to spot and avoid them and their actions. Psychic vampires are not benign even when they are not sure of what they are doing. I can't state that any time I have spent around psychic vampires has drained me mentally, physically, and energetically. Any person with immune system illnesses should check to be sure they are shielded and not allowing others to harm them. Energy vampires can help cause autoimmune diseases, chronic fatigue, and accelerate cancer. The energy system takes years to heal, and by then it has harmed the victim to the point of illness or death. Psychic vampires will feed off other psychic vampires. I know when I was unavailable for their feeding, I discovered that the others involved developed illnesses of an autoimmune nature. It could be hereditary weaknesses aggravated by the energy loss, but it happened. Healers have to be especially careful. I have past cases where people who were psychic vampires claimed to be victims of incurable curses so they could suck the healers dry while they abused them for curing them. The things to watch for are as follows. I will talk about them in order and try to give examples. Psychic vampires have a glamour or glow about them, not the healthy or glow of a person who has worked upon himself or herself. The glow seems to show them in a glorified light and as stylized in a way. The image of what they try to portray that shows how beautiful, special, and perfect they are and is called a mask or glamour. The healthy energy for a guru is a golden ring around the aura, and they do not need to glamorize it. You can feel what they are trapped in a human form. I have noticed many hidden masters and spirits that are here to help mankind in people that would never be thought to be evolved or special. The next thing to notice is whether they actually admit to their mistakes or rationalize it. Everyone can be unsuccessful, yet it has two sides. Every person has to do the actions necessary and follow instructions. A certain amount of blame happens to both parties in this way. Yet the narcissist will try to have you accept all of the blame while stating that what you ask them to do was not important. They are the patient who goes to the doctor because they are ill and then does not follow instructions or take the remedies. Yet they blame the doctor when they do not get better and tell them it is their fault. They always use a set phrase to make themselves feel better and to insult the people involved in the problems. People who can't do horrible things and then claim what good people they are in life are psychic vampires and narcissists. You will notice nothing goes right for anyone but them in the group. They never do anything wrong or admit something they did was wrong. A few more phrases: I am a good person, you are not evolved enough to understand, and other denials and comments that lessen the other person to get them to feel guilt. Once guilt is felt, then the energy vampire has its next victim. The next thing is ego. Narcissists always have big egos even when trying to act like the victim. They claim how great they are and never are able to get the results that they claim. They always delegate it to someone who is of a lesser rank in a group or blame not getting results upon them. If you are in a group with leaders that cannot produce results, do not stay in it. It can mean they are incompetent, yet it can also mean they are a role-playing narcissist that will bail out or hurt everyone if they ever do get results. They normally exaggerate and are liars that want to accuse everyone else of what the narcissist is doing to them. They become surprisingly vicious when they have someone else prove they are better at getting results. The next thing to look for is everyone ill or drained of energy. The leader of one of the groups I knew made a big deal of how everyone was to be physically perfect. In Hermetic magic, many books state as above so below. Yet that is the spiritual above and spiritual below. You are able to draw down a healthy body for good things in life, yet it does not remove the experiences the soul is to go through in life. It does not change the challenges you picked in this life, such as clearing family karma by taking on the family illnesses. No one is perfect or would not be on this plane going through the experiences of life. One of the major illnesses of this time is chronic fatigue. It is blamed on many things such as the environment, allergies, chemical sensitivities, and other illnesses. Yet it has been statistically proven that a third of our population has narcissistic tendencies or are full-blown narcissists. What can we do about this so we are not the people becoming ill? The first thing to do is to learn how to shield and filter your energies. Shields are just as they sound. They protect and shield people from influences. Filters are for not allowing certain energies inside of you and not accepting others' energies. You have a choice in being vampirized. Psychic vampires may be able to drain most shields, but a filter will not allow them to take out or remove energies in a way that will help them. Either that or it will let them only get energies that they do not like, such as illness or death energies. Either way, they will stop feeding quickly or it will make them ill. Protective symbols and stones will help with this so the vampire cannot feed. The gemstone rhodonite is good for closing down the psychic centers of others who are trying to feed off you. Petrified wood can be used to hook them up to petrifaction and the earth element. They are both easy to find and not very expensive. clearing the chakra exercises and aura strengthening exercises can be found on the internet, so you can stay healthy. I have glyphs in my alphabet in my book How to Heal from Psychic Attack, the Problem Solver's Alphabet. I have a page in the book and references from people who have used the glyphs. I always try to remember most of the people who do this do not realize what they are doing to others. I have included my own aura cleansing ritual that I do in the shower each day. It adds a boost to the day and makes it so you feel better when you are around a crowd of people or at work. To be spoken in the shower. Let the water run off your skin. Enjoy the feeling, then say, "Let this water penetrate my aura, energy system, mind and soul. May it wash away all discord, disharmony, illness, imbalances, attachments and evil. Cleanse the colors of my aura so they shine brightly and become a barrier of reflective colors that nothing can penetrate. My aura becomes alive with divine energy and protects me by shielding my chakras with a barrier that only the divine can pass. It sends out spikes so negativity can not attach to drain me, worry me or harm me. By the element of air and Archangel Raphael, let me be sealed and protected. By the element of fire and Archangel Michael, let me be sealed and protected. By the element of water and Archangel Gabriel, let me be sealed and protected. By the element of earth and Archangel Uriel, let me be sealed and protected. By divine love, kindness, and light, may this day be protected and every day be protected by divine light. You can find a way to put this page in a plastic bag and or laminate it and have it in the shower to read every day. It will stop many of the energetic and spiritual problems that cause immune diseases and lack of energy. It should also help to be balanced and focused during the day. It will help people who do not have energetic barriers or find themselves taking on others' emotions and energies. It is very effective when used with herbal soaps and shampoos that have been blessed by prayer. Anyone with specific and special problems can modify this prayer to include the problems and be safe from them during the day. I hope all of you try this prayer, as it is very helpful to start a day off right.